All right, so we got Kevin Drake in the studio. He is our Chris Collins Show contributor, and he is the host of Sports Matter on KUCI. That is 88.9 FM. How you doing, Kevin?
Very well, in Irvine. Very well said. And
Dude.
thank you, Marissa. And
Hey, we got
Chris,
your mic
thank
on.
you. Yes.
Now, how are you doing?
I am doing great.
Now we got you in here. Hey, I gotta hide these because
Oh yeah. Don't worry. I'm keeping an eye on my notes. I can only read my own chicken scratch here.
Yeah,
I can't read what you got going on there.
I mean, the guests were loving it. Not the guests. The listeners out there were loving it from the first interview when we had you on about when we did the 10 rapid-fire questions. So we'll be doing the same thing towards the end of the Just Talking segment. But, I mean, there's been a lot that's been going down, right? I mean,
absolutely.
we had these crazy aftershocks from the crazy Paul George and Kawhi Leonard trade that just happened in Los Angeles.
I thought you were talking about the earthquake.
I'm pretty sure that caused some of the craziest aftershock I've ever heard in my life.
I really thought it was the reaction of Kawhi deciding to go to the Clippers and the shaker happened. Like, what? What are you doing?
I think I was a little bit more startled with the whole Paul George thing. I never thought any of this kind of situation would have happened.
Could you ever think, in this day and age, well, this is happening in this day and age, but 10 years ago, say Shaq, I want LeBron James on my team.
Right. I mean,
and orchestrate a trade. It's crazy.
I mean, we're seeing so many crazy moves that are happening right now. And one of the biggest things that just happened actually last night,
yes,
which I was so amazed by.
I was going to text you, but I was like, I know you knew.
He did. First thing he told me this morning, have you heard the news? And I was like, no.
No, I mean, it's insane. All I got to say is, like, NBA 2K20 is going to be the most lit video game coming out. I mean, these NBA duos are incredible. Russell Westbrook from Oklahoma City Thunder actually just got traded after 11 years on the team to reunite with his old partner, James Harden, with the Houston Rockets. And I guess CP3's going home. He's going back to the Thunder. I mean, what do you see with this? I mean, I kind of giggled inside a little bit, and I was like, CP3's never going to win a ring now.
Well, I think the Houston Rockets should thank Kawhi Leonard. Because if they didn't trade Paul George, they sure heck's weren't going to trade Russell Westbrook.
That's true.
But with this said, I think it could work. I think Russell Westbrook, he's a great player. He's a little bit more athletic, a little bit younger than Chris Paul.
Yeah.
So I think it could work. And I think now their second go around, it's like, okay, we spent all these years apart and we didn't really get anywhere. So I think they could sacrifice a little bit of their games and really work together. But they played well together before.
Like, who do you think started this whole shakeup in free agency?
It really comes down to where Kawhi Leonard decided to go.
Yeah, you think Kawhi really was the one that kind of just made
he's the best player.
Yeah. No, hands down, I would say he definitely is. And I guess that's kind of the real question. I mean, when you're thinking about Los Angeles, who is that new dominant team going into 2020?
Ooh,
well, this is what's beautiful is that now you essentially have 5 powerhouse teams.
Yeah.
Not like super teams. So you got both LA teams. I still give the edge to the Clippers only because they have Kawhi Leonard, and what he did with Toronto this last year was amazing.
Yeah.
And I know Golden State Warriors had some injuries, so that does, that hurts.
And Patrick Beverley's looking great too.
But yes, you still got the Lakers. Now you got Houston, a serious threat, but you also got Portland.
Oh, Portland.
Portland made some moves that no one's talking about, and they're solid. So. Those big 4, and you still got the Golden State Warriors because when they're healthy, they still have their big 3: Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and now they gotten younger, so they got a lot, and they kept Kevin Looney. Mm-hmm. So they got a great squad too, but it's all more equal power.
Yeah,
there's not this one dominant team. So and the West is just stacked.
Well, that's right, West Coast. Woo woo.
It's true. And let me ask you this, Kevin, because you are the guru of all things sports. I mean, for the listeners out there, what is something that we need to look out for when we watch the NBA season? Who are going to be like those standout players? Is it going to be anybody that's a part of these new duos that are happening in the NBA, or is there like this one standout talent that you're like, this is the guy? This is the guy you need to check out on this court every single day for 2020 season?
Well, it's probably going to be Kawhi Leonard, but I anticipate that they'll probably take care of him like Toronto did, where he won't play all 82 games.
Any
he only
college
played 60 games last year.
What about Zion, any RJ, or any
Zion's
going to
be fun, but if you ask me who the best player in the draft was, I'm about to say RJ Barrett.
Oh.
I just think he has the more potential of really being a great player. And I think the New York Knicks did not strike out. I think they did well in their pick. Yes, they're set back a couple of years.
Crying.
They struck out in free agency. Yes, they're not going to be a title contender this year. That stinks.
For like the last last 25 years.
So another couple more years, they're not going to be title contenders. However, they do got a nice young core, and give it a couple years. Hopefully they can make better decisions and attract some good free agents.
And I know we could be talking about free agency forever, but I know one of the topics that you love and you admire the most is tennis. I mean, the Wimbledon's been happening. I mean, I've been kind of following it. I probably should be following it a little bit more than I should be, to be honest.
Especially with Coco.
There's right. And
I'm loving her.
She's a standout sensation. She's 15 years old, right? Yeah. And I mean,
powerhouse.
I mean, is she incredible to watch or what, Kevin?
She's incredible, and she had a great 2018 season for a 14-year-old. Did win the Juniors U.S. Open.
Wow.
And so now it's some really weird rules. I mean, it protects the tennis player, but she can only compete in some of the big tournaments. She can only compete in 12 this year, and I think she's close to that. And she has to go through the qualifiers.
Oh, I didn't know that. I mean, they can only have some, but I didn't realize it was.
Right. I mean, she's 15, so the body's not quite developed yet, to really compete against some of the.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of young ladies out there that are really, playing some great tennis and making some noise.
That amazes me. She's 15. She's still growing into her potential, growing into it. And look what a powerhouse she is. I love her.
No, so coming out as a qualifier and make it to the fourth round was really impressive.
Woo,
and she beat some formidable opponents. I mean, she beat Herkalk. I mean, that's a tough opponent.
Wasn't in the first round she took out Venus Williams?
Yeah, she took out Venus. Venus is 39, so
I feel like that's probably her idol, which is pretty incredible.
Oh, absolutely.
And I really wanted to tell you this, Kevin, because I thought this was so insane, right? So for the Roger Federer versus Nadal Wimbledon semifinals match ticket that's happening today, actually.
Going on right now
as we speak. Hopefully the listeners
Kevin's
are still with us as they're
killing us.
That's okay. No, this is great.
But just to let you know, the tickets are going for $9,000 per ticket compared to the $3,500 per ticket for the Los Angeles Rams versus the New England Patriots Super Bowl 53.
See, that's when I want Afro Future to throw the donation.
That's crazy.
Tickets for me.
Get me to the Super Bowl or the Wimbledon.
Because that's a lot of money.
So you want to know the reason why these tickets are a high-priced ticket.
Yeah.
Because it all stems from that 2008 finals match at Wimbledon. This is when Roger Federer was the number one player in the world. Rafael Nadal was coming up. Federer had just won the 5 previous Wimbledons.
Yes.
So he was trying to become, the only one to win 6 in a row. And he met Nadal in the final. And it was the greatest tennis match of all time, they say. There's actually a movie about it called Strokes of Genius. So check it out. Look it up.
Okay.
It's but it started off where Nadal won the first 2 sets, 6-4, 6-4. You think, okay, he's got it. And then Federer just raised his game up and won the next 2 sets by tiebreaker.
I know you're not watching it, but
then set 5 was the most epic. So these guys played 5-hour match.
Wow.
Nearly a 5-hour match, and then finished off with Nadal edging him out 9-7. Because in the final frame, in the final set, you have to win by 2, so there's no tiebreaker.
And let me ask you this, because I know you're not watching it right now. It's happening right now, but I know your spider senses are starting to tingle. If you had to pick somebody to win it right now, who do you think is that tennis player?
Wow. Nadal definitely has the edge because he's just a little bit younger, but I'm going to go with Federer.
Okay.
This is Federer's turf. He's won 8 Wimbledons, where Nadal's won 12 French Opens.
Yeah. That's the clay game.
And he has won 2 Wimbledons, speaking of Nadal, but Federer, I think he could do it. He's won 8 in a row, or not 8 in a row, but he's won 8 Wimbledons.
Yeah.
Of his 20 Grand Slam titles. So I'd like to see him get one more. But the thing is, you got Djokovic waiting for you. And Djokovic is just a little bit younger, and he's just at the top of his game.
I mean, it's just so wild because there's so many things happening in sports right now. Like so many things that there's so many sports that you could choose, and you got so much endless entertainment on TV, and you can see it in the park. And one of the craziest things that caught my attention during the MLB's Home Run Derby, which I thought was kind of wild. I don't know if you heard about any of this, Kevin, but I noticed the MLB commentators discussing this controversy over a, quote, juiced ball. Like a baseball.
It's a terminology that they use.
It just sounds dirty.
But
yeah. Hey, you want to get juiced?
Did you get your juice ball today?
Are you the catcher or are you the mitt?
See, that's what I like about this show.
I'm juiced up. But yeah, I mean, where did all this...
I love it. That's why I love this show, because you get the true definition of what a juice ball really is.
Yeah, so I think we're starting to uncover...
Shakespeare puns.
I think I'm answering my own question before we even get the response. But I mean, what's going on?
Well, I've always heard that it's always a different baseball they use for the home run derby. Obviously, they want these guys to hit as many home runs. Exactly.
I do.
But who's the culprit that's changing all these balls, and why at the home run? I feel like that's
so when they changed commissioners. Rob Manfred, when he came in, one of his first order of business is to increase the offense. Now I don't know what that means. I'm not saying that he's juicing the balls himself.
Do we blame Barry Bonds or do we blame the ball?
Well, I mean, you're talking two different things. But with that said, Rob Manfred did come out and say, well, there's a flaw in the logistics of the ball.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Isn't it just created a bunch of rubber bands?
I don't know how the logic or what he was saying, but...
Well, and I don't know the guy's last name. I remember his first name was like Justin, and he was talking
Verlander.
about... There you go. He was the one that's saying, he came out saying, we want to increase our offense, and next thing you know, everybody's doing home runs.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, you can't make that, and all of a sudden, everybody is doing home runs.
But I didn't realize this has been going on for like 100 years, though. They've been constantly adapting the ball, but it's just like a new coming of age controversy that's being brought up again. So does this bother you when you watch MLB? Do you get excited? I mean...
Well, people want to see the long ball, but, if it gets to the other end of the spectrum where everybody's just hitting home runs all the time and you're not really getting a good pitching performance, because there's times where I go to the baseball game, you got two great pitchers going at it, and you're watching some really good defense. Mm-hmm. And a pitcher's duel and someone wins 2-1, you think, okay, there's not that many runs scored, but it was an exciting game to watch.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of great defense.
I know.
Too.
I kind of like to be an offensive kind of girl.
That's so true. And I just want to remind all the listeners out there, we got Kevin Drake. He's the host of Sports Matters. You can listen to his show on KUCI. That is 88.9 FM. I mean, he's also a Chris Collins Show contributor. Check out the website, thechriscollinsshow.com. Become a member. I know Marissa and Kevin, they're both rocking the new shirts. It's so cool.
Yes.
You become the first 50 member today, you're going to get a T-shirt. So it's so cool, man. That's all I can say. We'll be right back. All right. We got the mics on. We're live. We got Kevin Drake. We got Marissa Pitts. Woo-hoo! We got the one and only Chris Collins. Hey, that's me. How you guys doing? You're listening to the Chris Collins Show. We got Kevin Drake. He's the host of Sports Matters. You can check out his show on KUCI. That is 88.9 FM. And we're excited because you are a Chris Collins Show contributor, and we're talking all things sports. And let's just get right to it. I mean, to me, I don't even know why this has been a discussion all over the internet, and all these talking heads want to speak about it on their late night show and etc. Why are we having this discussion about equal pay amongst the women and men's soccer? To me, I think it's so ridiculous. Everybody wants to say that the FIFA management, they can't come up with the money. Women's soccer, they're only making $90,000 per player compared to the men's soccer team, $500,000, and they can't even play dead in a cowboy movie, yet they're getting paid more money. Kevin, I need some answers. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. I brought us some stats here. Now, it comes down to viewership. Now, this year, the women's final game was up 22% from the last year's World Cup final for the men's 2018.
22%.
So it's definitely spiked uphill. And then in 2015, now you look at the women's World Cup final this year, they peaked at 20 million viewers. Oh. That's a record. It's never hit that. In 2015, they got 25 million.
Yeah,
that peaked out. But I brought up an interesting stat. Was back in 2010 in the men's World Cup, they brought in $4 billion in revenue. Wow. And the players got 9% of that, $348 million, as opposed the women only brought in $73 million in revenue.
Oh.
So you can kind of see the disparity. I guess it just comes down to where all this money's flooding into. But I do agree. I think the women should get paid more in the sense of there should be more money pumped into it. There's a lot more commercials this year. And the best-selling jersey this year, can you guess?
Yeah.
Alex Morgan had the best-selling jersey.
And I heard they were having problems because they didn't have men's apparel yet. And I can only imagine it's going to go up even more.
What you talked about, how I think if the media itself put that spotlight on the women's soccer team, which it needs to be with all these wins they're having, that's where people start hearing and they get the sales and they're buying the jerseys and have that.
It's true. And let me ask you this, because I know with your show, it speaks it clearly. Sports matters. So if sports matter now, are sports responsible on a level when it comes to politics and our flag? Because I know a lot of the situation that happened during the World Cup, and who cares what everybody says. I know Megan Rapone, everybody's been preaching USA, USA. But a lot of people have been handling the situation a little unease because, you know, how careless we've been handling our flag at recent sporting events. I know right after the final win with the USA, we were dragging the flag on the ground.
No touching.
Is this
flag
a
on the
good
ground.
look for us? I mean, should we remember that sports is still in our political system today, or do you think it's a totally separate culprit?
I think it's kind of intertwined in a sense because they're using it as a platform to exercise their ideas and what they believe in.
Yeah.
And I get that. Look, we have the First Amendment rights, you know, the right to speak.
Right.
But at the same time, we all got to come together. We live in the United States of America. It's a beautiful place to live. Look, it's not perfect. There's definitely going to be flaws, but we have that right to speak, and we can, you know, speak upon that and fix this injustice.
Do you know what
and
I
things
would like
that.
to see stop happening?
What's
People wearing the American flag on their butt.
No more bikinis, ladies.
It is not a good
Yeah.
look, nor actually are they supposed to. You're not supposed to be wearing the flag as apparel on clothing. It is actually a no-no on top of dragging it on the ground.
Wait,
So please,
yeah,
please,
I mean, I
please,
think that's an
down
interesting
south.
point.
Please stop.
But it's true, and I just gotta say, because we all watch the Olympics, and we already know that that's
Right.
a political example of how sports brings us in for diplomatic means and all these great things. But as much as I wish I could keep rapid firing with this, we got another cool thing because I know the listeners, they were asking for this. We got 10 rapid fire questions that we're going to be hitting with Kevin Drake. I'm going to tell you straight up, these aren't easy. They never are because that's what makes it fun.
And I got one in there.
Uh-oh. And Marissa snuck in
I
one.
remember the last one, Noah Syndergaard.
That's right. That's right.
That's so
Blonde
funny.
stallion.
So we're going to hit it off real quick. These are 10 rapid fires. Kevin Drake has up to 30 seconds to at least get this question right. As I start hitting the question, we're going to begin. 3, 2, now. Why do tennis players wear white at the Wimbledon?
That's a great question.
Rapid fire. Rapid fire.
I think it's just a proper what's what the queen wants.
That's
proper attire.
It's a pretty darn
No.
close answer, but
Not close
I
enough.
guess the All England Club in the 1800s believed to be the sight of sweat through clothing was seen as less of a distraction, especially for women. So they just believed that the color white should be worn for everybody. And in recent years, the ruling has been more stricter during modern times.
Yes.
So pretty funny. We all know about Serena Williams.
That's right, girl. Wear whatever you want.
So question number 2. What 2 NBA Golden State Warrior players did then general manager Jerry West draft in 2011 and 2012 with promising talent Steph Curry?
Klay Thompson and Draymond Green.
You got it right. That's
Let me do the sound. Let me do the sound.
I got so excited.
You can't. I have sound effects.
I got so excited. I was shocked. I mean, all my friends were saying Harrison Barnes, so kudos to you, man. As the U.S. women's soccer team celebrated their latest victory at the World Cup, how many times have the U.S. women's soccer team won the prize trophy?
4.
You are absolutely correct. The U.S. women's soccer team has celebrated their 4th World Cup victory.
Whoop, whoop.
This one I like. The Boston Red Sox played the New York Yankees last weekend in the MLB. But where was that special game?
London.
You're absolutely right. The London
Let me
Stadium.
do the clicking.
And they enjoyed the home run derby.
That's right.
It's because we're in rapid fire mode.
Yep.
But I just got to say, that was at the London Stadium. It's the West Ham's ground, has been chosen to host the first ever MLB regular season game played in Europe. So this one's a tough one. Formula One introduced a new prize for the fastest lap in each race. What is the prize?
I do not know. My racing fans are going to be upset with me.
It's all good. This was not easy, but a bonus point that counts towards the overall standing. So this bonus points for the fastest lap are to return after 60 years, but only if the driver goes to finish in the top 10.
Ooh.
Yeah, so
All right.
that's kind of cool.
3 out of 5 so far. Doing good.
Heavyweight Tyson Fury beat Tom Schwartz in just 2 rounds on Saturday night in Las Vegas a couple months back. Which 2 songs did Fury sing after the fight to his wife in the ring?
Oh, no, I didn't see that, so I wouldn't know.
It's so funny, but he sang Aerosmith's I Don't Want to Miss a Thing, and he sang American Pie. And that guy's got
Brilliant.
vocals. He's brilliant.
Brilliant.
But I'll hit you with this one. What NHL franchise won their first Stanley Cup Finals this year in 2019?
2019. I got to ramble through. How did I forget that?
It was kind of a dry NHL season. I'm not gonna lie. So
what is it, Eric? What is it?
Get on the mic.
The Blues.
St. Louis Blues.
Yeah. Okay, St. Louis Blues. Okay, we'll give that to Kevin Drake. They beat the Boston Bruins with
and
the
that was
series
root for the whole
4-1.
playoffs, and I've completely forgot about the hockey season.
You had a brain fart.
Good thing Eric is your wingman.
They saw me out the last time too.
This is a fun question. I love this one. So the organizers of next year's Olympics in Tokyo say the medals will be made from what?
Exciting. Oops, sorry.
We get a response.
I thought you would get that.
No.
This one's tough. Nobody got it. But my dad was kind of close.
What's
he
the
said
material?
plastic.
Come on.
But it is old phones and computers. So the people of
Yes.
Tokyo have donated thousands of old gadgets towards this project.
Plastic
So,
I
is so
actually like that.
yesterday.
That's
It's
actually
kinda
kind of
cool.
cool.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
but this is Marissa's bonus
Okay,
question. You'll
are
get
you
2
ready?
points for this one if you get this
All
one right.
Okay. All right, ready?
I'm in trouble.
What sport used the term home run long before baseball?
Cricket.
Absolutely correct. You got it.
Oh,
And
wow.
and to let you guys
Amazing.
know,
Amazing.
ICC Cricket World Cup Finals will be happening this Sunday, July 14th at 2:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to stay up, drink a Budweiser. You can watch the New Zealand versus
Ooh.
England. Ooh. Dun, dun, dun.
So pretty laid back to
All right.
Kiwis.
All right, last one. You're doing so good.
All right,
Last
and
one.
the last one, LeBron overtook his idol, Michael Jordan, to become the NBA's fourth highest point scorer of all time. Who is at the top of the list?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Oh!
Kobe Bryant.
This is why we got
If you
Kevin
would have missed
Drake.
it, I'd be like, we need a new contributor.
This is why we got Kevin Drake, the
Kareem
host
the
of
Dream.
Sports
All right.
Matters. But this
got
is cool because
Kareem.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar leads LeBron James by 6,000 points. He is 38,387 total points.
6 out of 10 this time.
This is great.
Nice. You're doing good. I only gotten one, which is
Yeah,
cricket.
no, I mean, I'm not going to lie. These are hard, and I do it on purpose because you
No, it's
are
good.
the
It's
guru.
good. I like it. I like
And
the challenge.
we just got to rack your brains a tad bit. But I just want to remind all the listeners out there that you were listening to the Chris Collins Show. And if you haven't heard yet, we have shirts. We have really
Yes.
cool shirts. So if you want to become a member today and get all this kind of cool content, the first 50 members will all be getting a free shirt. So go ahead and
Yay.
check that out. So it's really cool. We got Kevin Drake, the host of Sports Matters. What's good, listeners? I'm the host of the Chris Collins Show. And if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button below and check us out at thechriscollinsshow.com. Peace.